So anyway, here's what I want to show. That is that there's a problem with the app in terms of screen formatting on a tablet as opposed to a phone. So I'm going to show what aspects that on the tablet that either work poorly or not at all. So I'll show first the ones that work poorly. That's all three categories of zone of mapping. So like with zones, like the regular zones, we'll go to like the main yard. And you'll notice down here at the bottom of this screen here where it says main yard, the size of the yard to mow in acreage. There is no button at the bottom of that for one for size, one for rename and one for delete. So in order to rename, I have to touch like where it says size somewhere on that. So I can do here or right below it, and I can rename there, but there is no button. And then to delete, I've got to touch just to the right and below the word size, and then I can delete that. That's the only way I can do it. But the button's not visible. It doesn't show up. So that's the way it is for a regular zone. But also the no-go zones. So I go there, and you see where it says main waterline trench. Again, no delete, no rename. If I want to rename, I just touch right below where it says main waterline trench. See that? And then if I want to delete, I've got to touch just a little bit to the right of where I touched below that. You see right below the line I touched there, it can delete. But you can't find the button. It's just a matter of touching the screen somewhere below that word to get to it. So that doesn't work. And finally, my path. The path is the same way. Shows how long it is, it shows the size. But again, in order to rename this one, you have to touch size. You can rename. And to delete, you have to touch just to the right and below that word. Oops, a little bit more to the right. There, see, then you can delete it. But again, the delete and rename buttons, they don't show up. You just kind of have to touch around on the screen until you find them in blank spots. Eventually they show. You can find them that way. That's how I did it. Otherwise, I couldn't. Once I had them, I was stuck with them until then. And here's the other one. Now, this one doesn't work at all. The one-time cutting function. So I can go to that. So, we select the zone. I can even select edge routine to switch it on, but you can see on the screen where I'm touching at the bottom and pushing up. I'm trying to scroll up. It will not scroll up for me to hit the start button. The start button is totally inaccessible. The way the screen, I think it's something to do with the aspect ratio of the screen, that it expects a longer aspect ratio for you to use it. But I cannot scroll down and hit start for the one-time cutting. It's completely disabled because of that on a tablet. So that's the two main things that I wanted to show that are totally unusable. Everything else seems to work. I can do all the other things on this but that. So I just wanted to show that to you. And that's it. Okay, show you how this works on the phone compared to the tablet. The phone has full functionality for me. Let's try and get that. So as before, with my maps, I even have a modify button, which I couldn't see on the tablet. Didn't know that was there initially. But you see I've got a rename, I've got the delete, I've got the modify. Those aren't visible on the tablet. I can modify, by the way, with that, but I was like touching up to the right, I guess, is the relatively on the tablet where you see the buttons, but they're there, they're not visible. Regular zone. Of course, a no-go zone, you only have two options, rename and delete. But those are there on the phone where they should be. And finally, of course, the path. Again, rename and delete. The buttons are visible. So you have full functionality. Another thing you have that is not just reduced functionality on the tablet or harder to use, but completely disabled. As you can see here, there's that orange start button right at the bottom of the one-time cutting screen. So you can, you can start it right up with that too. So that's the other part of it. So you can see why it works better.